Dun, 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 dun. And we are live. Luke, what's up, brother? Thanks for coming on the
What's going
show. You're the man. Um, and I threw up a pretty bold statement in the Facebook post that I don't even think you can see, but it says that psychedelics can heal this world, and I believe that that's true, man. I really do, and I
100%?
think you. I think that you do too. So can you please tell me a little bit about yourself? How did you get started leading trips down to Peru to help people have these experiences? What got you going? What kind of made you say, like, man, I really got to quit this job and really got to start doing this with my life?
Totally, totally. I guess it was really like right after my first ayahuasca experience. Um, it was literally like the second I opened my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I essentially was down in Peru, around the Andean region, kind of around the Sacred Valley, Cusco area. I was in this small, like really rural village. You can't even find it on a map. So it's called Checapuca. But yeah, pretty much I went off on a little like 5 day excursion when I was down there and drank the ayahuasca, and kind of like right after the experience, um, just kind of knew that this was the next direction I had to go. And I think really there was just like a lot of mental barriers like holding me back from just making that decision like right away, where I got the thought and the idea, and pretty much got like a message to do this. But
I know the
never,
feeling.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to describe, but essentially, like, yeah, it just came to me, and I knew I had to do it, and it's been like about 2 years since my last ceremony.
Oh, wow.
Um, so it's been a little while since I've drank ayahuasca myself. So I'm actually really excited about this trip to be able to bring some people back with me, um, and kind of introduce them to this sacred medicine.
Man, that's so
Um,
fucking cool.
but yeah, that's really kind of how it happened. I
Man,
mean, I
that's so
guess right
fucking
now is
cool.
like the first step. I'm really
Yeah.
in the beginning stages. Just kind of like this is gonna be the first journey I've taken with anyone else. My first experience was a solo journey, so I
Gotcha.
didn't like essentially go to one of those kind of places with like 15, 20 people all sitting in a temple drinking ayahuasca with like multiple shamans. Um, I really just I met a shaman and got like a personal one-on-one ceremony with
Yeah. Man, that's so fucking
yeah.
cool. Hey, before we, I want to hear everything about how you got started, like leading people down. It's so fucking cool that you're going to be doing that pretty soon, actually taking people on this trip. Before we go there, though, I'm sure there's someone listening to this podcast or this video, and they're like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about? Shamans? I am a Java. Like what? Like, can you
Yeah,
give a brief rundown? Like, what is ayahuasca? What is DMT? Like, how does it work? What does the experience kind of look like?
totally, totally. So this is like a sacred medicine that's been used for thousands of years down in the Amazon, primarily the Amazon region of South America, Ecuador, Colombia, Peru, Brazil. Um, it's tied to like multiple kind of uh, like tribes in those regions, and they all kind of use different forms of ayahuasca and different use different ceremonies and have different kind of um, traditions around the medicine, but essentially they're all very similar. Um, and what a shaman is, I guess that's like more the modern term of kind of what people are calling them these days. But really, they're just healers, um, and what they really do is just bring healing to the world by providing this medicine and providing an open space, and like it's kind of all like very hard to explain, but they essentially create a safe and open space for you to heal yourself. Like you're going inside and really healing yourself with this medicine, but it allows you to kind of unlock those areas in your mind or in your body that have been holding you back, and really like a lot of people that go there, they're going there for a lot more intense healing than I had originally gone down there for.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about people that I mean, there's really just a whole bunch of miracles that come out of the Amazon, of people that walk into the jungle and they walk out and they're telling stories like I'm about to tell you right now, or have started telling you. So it's really a different experience for everyone, and everyone goes in there for different reasons. So, yeah, it's really like a magical thing. And what these guys do is really create this space where there's people that are like struggling with severe addictions in life, like heavy drug addictions, alcoholism, even something a little lighter like cigarette addiction.
Yeah.
But then you also have like mental health issues like depression, anxiety, these kind of serious mental health issues that people struggle with.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have just seemed to find healing out of this medicine. There's been a lot of research around it. I think it's just really coming along in terms of like the fact that the internet exists and we can have conversations like we are right now. I think awareness of what this, what it really is it's just a vine. And I mean, I'm wearing it on my neck right now. So it's really just this. It's, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a vine that grows in the Amazon.
That's so cool, man. That's a
Yeah.
cool necklace you've got.
Yeah.
Is that literally like part of the ayahuasca vine?
Yeah, so it's like one of those jungle vines that's just growing. Yeah, and it's really long. I'm wearing like a very, very small piece of it, but that's all it is. And the thing that actually kind of makes the medicine work, it's categorized as like a hallucinogenic. So it does have hallucinogenic properties. During my experiences, I can say that I had very, very intense visuals.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just kind of throwing that out there. Ayahuasca, it is a hallucinogen.
Right.
But it is down in Peru looked at as a sacred plant medicine that's used for healing. It's not a drug. It really just hasn't had enough research to be done yet to really get the light that I think it deserves.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, man. It's hard to do research on because, I mean, like from what I understand, I mean, you can buy ayahuasca anywhere, just like from any drug dealer. You can order it online.
Yep.
There's websites you can literally order the different materials online.
Yep.
And but the trick is you have to have someone very experienced, such as a shaman type of character, who knows how to fucking brew it, because you
100%.
You chop it up into a various different, like, and it's a variety of different plants, isn't it, that kind of go into the brew, like.
So it's typically mixed with just two plants, and really it's the tricruna leaves, which is another not a vine plant. It's more of like a leafy plant.
Yeah.
And really it's this vine all broken down into kind of like smaller pieces and thrown into a pot and then cooked over a period of several hours. and then essentially you drink a tea. It's a tea.
I've heard it tastes.
And the Chukana leaves have been said to is that's kind of what allows the medicine to work is the DMT is the chemical that's in the ayahuasca vine.
Right.
But in order for it to like enter your bloodstream and actually affect you in like a spiritual or medicinal way, then you have to mix it with the chacruna leaves to be able to get it to enter the bloodstream and make it work in the drink. So if you like if I just took this root and boiled it up over several hours, like, and drank the tea mixture that it created, I would not get any kind of value out of that experience. And like you said, I mean, yes, you can order these things online, and I mean, like, I'm living in Denver, Colorado right now.
I'm sure you can find it down the street.
I mean, I know there's places in Boulder, obviously, that have ceremonies and things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of what I'm doing is I really think it's important for people to go to the places where this medicine exists, and the people that are professional, like, not, I guess, like, they're professionals in their own craft. I'm not saying they have any kind of medical degrees or
they're masters. They're
masters in their craft. Yeah.
Words.
Yeah, I mean, they're essentially like, I mean, whatever you want to call it, shaman, Yoda, friggin', like, they're very, very talented people with what they can do, and not anybody can. Pretty much no one can call themselves a shaman. It's really up to like the village to present somebody as, like, they essentially call them the shaman. Really, they're like a spiritual guide, medicine doctor. There's multiple names for it, healer. But like, whatever you want to call it, what they're really doing is they sing these songs that are called ikaros during the ceremonies. So it's like, so just to quickly run through kind of what a ceremony might look like they'll do a lot of different traditional like methods to create a safe space within the temple. So they'll smoke a tobacco called mapacho. I'm probably messing up the pronunciation, but they'll smoke this, and they think that, or they believe, and I actually believe this now after participating in these ceremonies, that all of these things mean something. And like, they didn't come up with these processes for their ceremony for just like out of thin air. It's like, no, they've been working with these medicines for thousands of years, and like, fathers were literally I mean, they're giving it to I mean, there's tribes that give it to like pregnant women like at certain periods. So like, some of these people are essentially like born with the medicine already inside of them, and they've already it's pretty crazy when you get like really in the weeds on this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's incredible. Like,
that's so fucking cool. I love this stuff, man.
I mean, I wish I could play an ikara for you. I don't know any, and that's kind of the craziest thing about them is you're like, so how do you play an ikara?
I think they're on YouTube, man. Let me pull it up. Keep talking.
Oh yeah, no, they're on there, but it's just
not a real one.
Yeah, it's one of these things where when you're live, like in a temple, participating in one of these ceremonies, like in the country of Peru, like, one, I mean, they don't call these, like, I mean, on my retreat, I'm taking people to the Sacred Valley. I mean, they don't call it the Sacred Valley. for no reason. There's a reason why it's called that. This is a sacred place. Like, so you're drinking a sacred medicine in a sacred place. I wouldn't be setting this up if it wasn't like in my opinion, the way to do this medicine.
Let's just play just like 30 seconds of this. So I know like it's not the real thing, but just so someone listening to this kind of knows what the fuck we're talking about. This is
hey man, I'll listen to him on the car on the way to work. Like this is not, I mean, this is.
This is apparently actual shaman, allegedly, an alleged actual shaman singing.
Yeah.
So you can if you're listening to this, you can kind of gather what we're talking about, the type of song.
I mean, you definitely have to give them. They're pretty long. So
that video was an hour and 45 minutes. The one that
exactly. So I mean, each song, if you're thinking about it, I mean, so you're like, how do they learn these songs? Right? Is kind of my question. I'm like, how do you learn this song?
I've listened on other podcasts, like Aubree Marcus has a great podcast about all this type of stuff, and he talks about that apparently the plants taught it to them. They learned it from the plants themselves.
I was just gonna follow up by saying that. So that's
and not only that, according to him and shamans he's worked with, the plants taught them how to do the whole thing, how to make them, how it all works. He's like, I don't know what that means, but he's like, that's what my shaman said when I asked him. He's like, the plants taught us how to do all this.
Mine told me the same exact thing. I mean, that's essentially what it is. But I mean, at the same time, that's the weird thing about ayahuasca. Is it kind of like after you drink it, it's like inside of you, and it's working like way after the ceremony. So I mean, it's been 2 years from my ceremony, but like. I guess it's like this whole integration period that's like part of working with the medicine that like it took me 2 years to actually follow this dream of mine and actually be like, I know that ultimate truth hit me on that day in Peru. But it took me 2 years to actually be like, what am I doing? I need to like actually follow what the ayahuasca had told me to do. Like, why am I?
No, man. I've had very similar experiences, not with ayahuasca, but with other substances. With psilocybin, I've had the same.
I mean, that's the thing with these like psychedelic substances is, I mean, dude, the power behind them is just.
It's amazing.
There's nothing you can put. Words can't describe the experience because it's different for everybody, but. I'll tell you what, I've never met anyone that it didn't impact their life in some way after they did it.
Assuming they did it correctly, I would say. Because I've talked to some people about about like mushrooms, for example, and they're like, mushrooms didn't do anything for me. I'm like, how did you do it? And they're like, well, I had it at a party after I'd been drinking and, I blacked out. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm like, if you gotta pay it just respect, you got to do it correctly.
Totally. I mean, like they say, like, set and setting. Like that's a very important thing and that's why I'm not running ceremony. I don't run any ceremonies in the United States, and I will never. Most likely, I won't run any ceremonies in the United States. I'm saying that now. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my thoughts further down the line after I spend more time in Peru and working with the medicine. Maybe it tells me something different, but. As of right now, it pretty much told me, to be honest, like I believe the medicine should remain down in South America. I mean, not so much like remain there. I guess it's more of if you can't like physically go there, like you have some kind of health condition that like prevents you from going there. I'm not talking about like financially, because I think that's more of kind of a mindset. I think financially it's affordable for anybody that's looking to do it, and really the first step is really you just need to book your plane ticket.
Yeah.
And that's literally how you just do it. You
Yeah,
know, like
I know.
you just stop thinking about it. You book the plane ticket, and what's funny is you can. I mean, like some of these ceremonies, they'll charge in the United States. I mean, like pretty decent money just to sit in on a ceremony.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you cut out the whole like resort costs or whatever, like room and board and all these things of like actually being down in South America, um, the experience far outweighs what you would pay. And I think anybody that leaves Peru, like they all know it. They
Yeah.
all, especially anyone that's coming from like a first world country,
Oh
that
yeah.
coming down to these places and drinking this medicine. I mean, I think if anything, it's really just, I mean, a payment of tribute to the people who have allowed this medicine to last this long.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it makes sense.
it,
I agree. It makes sense to me. I mean, I haven't done it myself yet, but I agree with it. Makes I
yeah,
sounds good. And I guess it's also one of those things you could say that because people saying you've talked about this before in your group and stuff is that ayahuasca calls you. You know, ayahuasca
yeah,
basically makes it happen for you in a sense. So in other words, if you can't get down to Peru for some reason, and you're thinking about doing it in another country, maybe it's just that the time isn't right. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
maybe that's
I honestly believe that. I mean
yeah,
it. I mean, like, I didn't have the money to go to Peru when,
yeah,
like, when I wanted to go and I had the thought of going. It wasn't like I had the money that day and I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna book a plane ticket and go to Peru and spend
yeah,
like 3 weeks there. It was no. I spent like a year and a half working, saving up, like being very very like cheap on everything, to really just cut costs and save money for what I'm passionate about, and that's traveling the world. Um,
yeah. So I want to talk briefly about you know, what do you think are the ramifications for the future? Like how what does the next couple years look like as this message kind of gets out there to the world? Because like we talked about before, you know, the thanks to the internet and thanks to stuff like we're doing right now, this message
yeah,
is finally able to, even if you know you and I are maybe perhaps making the argument that the medicine itself should stay in the Sacred Valley if you want to have the actual experience. The message
like
is getting out to all the world. You know, like what do you think are going to be the ramifications over the next couple of years?
I mean, I think ayahuasca is already around the world, and I'm not even saying like don't sit in on a ceremony, and I mean there is the Santo Daime Church. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if you've heard of that, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure they are pretty much global.
yeah,
And if you ever were looking to sit in on an ayahuasca ceremony, I've never gone to the one of their churches before, but I think at least putting some kind of context around it, it would be beneficial. So I think at least getting it like in. Sorry, my
oh, it's
phone's
fine.
in here, but yeah. So at least getting it in like some kind of a like the right setting is what I'm getting at,
Yeah,
and with the right people who have really like spent enough time with this medicine. And I haven't sat in any of those churches, but I assume that, and I've read on a lot of forums that people that are a part of that church have drank ayahuasca like in the hundreds of times.
yeah,
So I think that's kind of one of the things with it is that's why I would like, I mean, like I'm kind of bridging the gap between like this internet and all these kind of like
yeah,
modern concepts and like learning about like online businesses or whatever. Like it's just that's not something I'm probably going to spend as much time with once I get down to Peru. I
mm,
think once I go down there, I'm probably going to spend a lot more time with the medicine
yeah,
because I really just think that I'm really like nowhere. I basically know nothing is what I'm trying to say.
No,
Is everything I'm telling you, like, I know, like, basically nothing. So that's where I'm at with it. And
I know the feeling, man. Trust me.
yeah.
I haven't, like I said, I haven't done ayahuasca, but I've done, had my fair share of other experiences. And
Yeah.
yeah, the more you do it, the more you're like, fuck, I don't know shit. I don't know anything, man.
Right.
I gotta go back.
Yeah, you're like, I need to get back there and get some more lessons, because
exactly. You're like, fuck.
yeah.
And then you go for a period of time where you don't have the experience, and you're like, fuck, I got more stuff to work through. I got more. You know what I mean? Like, life keeps happening. It's not like, you understand.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you fucking one day.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, lifelong journeys that, like, you keep growing. I mean, you keep learning, but you're never gonna get there. So,
absolutely, man.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing.
so let's talk briefly. We got to wrap this up relatively soon, maybe like next 10 minutes or so. But
Okay.
let's actually probably like 5 minutes. But let's say, tell me more about, like, what are you doing specifically? Like, how, if someone's listening to this and they're like, holy shit, I got to get down to Peru. Maybe Luke can help. He's going there. Like, what are you doing exactly with Travel Peru, and how are you trying to help people with this?
Totally. So really, like I said, I'm kind of in the beginning stages right now. What I'm doing is primarily running a Facebook group called Travel Peru, and really just trying to build a community of, like-minded people that would be interested in traveling to Peru and experiencing these kind of sacred plant medicines, which I didn't even bring it up, but there's a whole variety of these plant medicines. This whole conversation has been mainly around ayahuasca, but you can go to these medicine men, medicine women, shamamas, shaman, doctors of the Amazon or South American region, whatever you want to call it, and like they can use other methods other than the ayahuasca.
Yeah.
So one of the other things is there's a cactus called the San Pedro cactus.
Right.
And to be honest,
oh, sorry.
I was just grabbing a call. But so yeah, I learned a lot from the San Pedro cactus. To be honest, I hadn't really heard about it until I had gone down there.
Yeah.
And it's also called, like, huachuma.
Okay.
In their local, like, Quechua language.
Mm-hmm.
I really am not very good at pronouncing anything, so I could be butchering the pronunciations here. But
no, I don't think you are.
Another thing worth checking out, and yeah, just back to the main point here. Like, I'm kind of running this group, trying to get like-minded people that are interested in coming to Peru, and building a community around this medicine, and really just helping it kind of spread to whoever has that interest or hears that call.
That's so fucking cool, man. So what you're saying is, like, if someone's interested, they should just go to Facebook, look up Travel Peru, and they can probably find you, right?
Pretty much. I mean, we also have a kind of temporarily, I built out a quick website, igniteyourlightinperu.com.
Oh, sweet.
So you could check that out, and you could also book the any kind of trips that we are running. Currently, right now, we're running a retreat for September 1st to the 10th of this year. So if anyone is interested, you have until August 1st to sign up for that. But then after August 1st, I'm no longer going to be accepting any more reservations. So if you're looking to join that trip, definitely check out igniteyourlightinperu.com, or join that Facebook group, Travel Peru, and you can find me there, or Facebook. It's Luke Ferguson, and Instagram it's Ignite Your Light, or at Ignite Your Light.
Dude.
To really just throw them all out there. But
good, because I want people to hear this message, dude. I really am happy about what you're doing, because like I feel like there's a lot of fear around these plants and around going to South America, especially for fucking Americans, dude. We're all fucking scared, dude.
100%. I mean, they say like 70% of Americans don't have a passport. Like,
it's bullshit, man. I lived in Germany for 3 years. Like I've been back in America now for like 4 or 5 months, but dude, like the rest of the world is fucking safer than America, guys.
That's what's funny about
it. I got news for you. They think that America's dangerous. In other countries, like seriously, in Germany, I told them, like when I told my German friends, like, hey, I'm moving back to America soon, they were like, shit, like they're like, fuck, like be careful. Like, right? And they're dead serious. And they're like, wasn't there just a shooting in, this country? Or
it's true though.
It's fucking true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say like South America doesn't have dangerous areas.
Every place has dangerous areas. Every place in the world, and every place.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But then also, like, I mean, it is more of a reason to also like travel as a group.
Yeah.
So then, like, or at least with like one buddy if you can sometimes.
But it's fucking crazy, because you say that and people are like, oh, so Peru's dangerous, and I'm like, well, no. Would you want to? What I'm saying is, like, they're like, would you want to go walk around, certain neighborhoods in New York City alone? No. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the same fucking thing. It's like, no matter where you go.
Exactly.
Here's the rule: no matter where you go in the world, if you're in a place that seems sketchy, you probably want to be there not alone. Anywhere in the 100%. World, including America. You know what I'm saying? Like, and other than that, places around the world are fucking safe. So stop being a wimp and travel.
Or if it's really sketchy, just like get the fuck out of there. Like, why do you even? I mean, I've been to some places, like I've been to Asia, went to kind of China. I can tell you, China. When I went there, I bought a one-way ticket to China. Had no plans on when I was going to be returning to the United States, and I will say that my time in China, I felt a lot safer than I do walking around the United States.
I felt the same way about Europe, man.
But then at the same time,
it's always different than Europe, but you know what I'm saying, like.
Yeah. But then at the same time, like I've been to some shady areas in Cambodia. Not sure if you caught that, but some shady areas like in Cambodia, and it's like, I kind of felt like maybe it's time to go back to the United States. Maybe man. I'm not in the right area right now.
Yeah, and. Dude, but yeah, and obviously don't go to an active war zone, no matter where you. But like, dude, even Turkey. Like, I had a friend who lives in Turkey, is an American dude living in Turkey during when the coup was happening, and there's like all the obviously parts of Turkey are kind of involved in the whole ISIS thing, although I think that's died down to an extent. Yeah. But regardless, it was when ISIS was still all in the news and all this other stuff. And I asked him, I was like, is it dangerous in Turkey? And he was like, dude, think about it this way. He's like, if you lived in California and there was a war going on in Maine and you knew it was only going to stay in Maine, would you be worried? I was like, no. And he's like, exactly. That's Turkey these days. He's like,
yes. It's a pretty good analogy, I guess.
Like, don't go to Maine. Don't go to Maine. But California is fucking paradise. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. It's totally fine. But people are like, oh no, all of Turkey is at war. It's like, no, man. Literally, like, one region is having some potential issues. You might not want to go. That's it.
I mean,
even if you go there, you're probably okay. You just should maybe not.
Hey, I mean, I didn't know that going to North Korea is a thing, but like once I went to my first trip in China, I mean, I thought I was kind of badass buying a one-way ticket to China. And then all of a sudden, I staying at a hostel. It's like a whole room of people were all just came back from North Korea.
Yeah, I know, man. And
like, I didn't know you go there. What? Like, that's a thing?
Yeah.
Just go to North Korea.
In fact, I guarantee you, assuming you don't do anything fucking stupid, like that one dude who tried to like steal some of their shit and then he got locked up. Like, don't fucking steal their shit. But like, don't go there to commit a crime. But like, if you go there and just be polite and nice to everyone, you're going to be there. Like, dude, you really think they're going to fucking shoot you? No, like, we would bomb the fuck out of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're probably safe. They're probably going to take good care of you, because if
it's all guided, like over in there.
You, it's an international incident. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, Luke, I'm ranting. I gotta go. Thank you. Man. This is great. I love you. And
yeah, no, it was great chatting. Hope we can do it again sometime. But I'll let you go.
Hell yeah, man.